Fortnites Chapter 5 Season 1 was very interesting. In more ways than one. I did really enjoy it and I had a lot of fun in it, but it felt like something was missing the entire way through and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. But with it finally coming to an end and having the recent release of Season 2, I'm starting to realize what it was missing so much. We have barely scratched the surface of what this season is going to add and what this season is going to do, and that's kind of crazy because this season already added so much straight off the bat, and the fact they're going to add more over time is perfect. I really like that they're doing that and not putting everything in at once. This is one of the greatest starts to a season I've seen in a while. It might be in a top 3 for the season starts, and honestly, with everything that we've had, with the amount of fun I've already had in this season, I'm ready to put it in my top 10. You know, not yet, because we're not there yet, but with everything that they're gonna add and everything I've seen, it seems like it's only gonna get better. I just made a video on what makes a season good, and this really checks off most of the boxes on that list. So let's just get into it, and I will explain why I think this season is so great so far. Now, to start off with the mechanics, the first thing that we should talk about, and I'm going to talk about this in the loophole too, is the flying mechanic. I was actually pretty surprised by how good this works. I thought it was going to be a lot more buggy, but it's actually pretty flawless in how it works. The new upgrades to medallions are so much better than last season. One, they're more exclusive to a character so you know what boss you want to fight, and two, they don't just give you 50 shield, they give you a power that's going to shake up the game a lot more and make your gameplay a lot more fun. And to get the medallions, you obviously have to fight the boss, which are so much better this season. These might be the best the bosses have ever been, and I usually look at Marvel for that, but I think Marvel's bosses may have just been dethroned. The fact that there's phases to these now are so much more helpful, and the fact you can also challenge it is so much more helpful, because one, I'd always get third parted when I'm fighting a boss, so I can clear out the area and then I can go fight the boss. And two, the phases are really helpful because when you're fighting the actual person, you're not getting bum rushed by guards. You kill the guards first, you fight the boss, and then you're good. And it's worth the fight for the aspect medallion and the mythic, so I'm not complaining this season. The teleportation mechanic is really well done. It dashes super well. I haven't really found it to be that buggy, and it can be super helpful at times. They added all this new shadow equipment around the map, which is really cool. You can either call in a supply job, get a bounty, stuff like that, and I think this is a really great addition to the game, especially with Midas coming back. That just adds some points to it. The bunkers are a really good side grade to the vault. The only thing that I think people are going to complain about, and I don't really have a problem with this, is that they can't really find mod benches anywhere until halfway through the game, which is kind of annoying, I guess, but again, I don't really have a problem with this. And the new mods are also really well done. I really love the thermoscope, and it's kind of a upgrade to the 2X. Overall, some really great mechanics added. I'm assuming we're going to get more with how much is getting added. I feel like they wouldn't be able to do it without adding more, so we'll see, but so far it's looking really good. Now, to move into the battle pass, I was gonna go with the loophole first, even though I always go battle pass first, but I'm gonna stay with my formula, and we're gonna talk about the battle pass. This is an amazing battle pass. I only have one kind of big problem with it, is the fact that Ares is a crewback skin and he's not in the battle pass, even though he's one of the best skins that they showed. Alright, my bad. But listen, you could have replaced Cerberus and Medusa with Ares, especially Medusa, bro. I do not like the Medusa skin. I do like the Cerberus skin, but he looks a lot more like a crewback skin than Ares does. But it's okay, because Hades is an amazing tier 100 skin, although I think Ares would have fit tier 100 a lot better, and Hades makes more sense for like a tier 70, tier 80 type skin, but whatever. I really like the modern aspect of his skin. I think it looks great. He gives me heavy noir vibes, and I love how they just made their own styles for the gods. It really fits the game well, and it looks super cool. Aphrodite is also a great skin, definitely the second best in this battle pass. I really think her color scheme looks super clean. I don't like her second style that much, but the modern feel they gave her skin looks really cool. Cerberus is a great skin. I know what I just said earlier, but I still think he's a really good skin. I just think he would have fit crew pack a lot better, especially because he's not technically a god, but whatever. Poseidon is one of the best meme skins we've ever gotten. We can see him hanging out with Meowscles and Fish Stick, which is pretty cool. I really like this skin, and it's kind of funny because Poseidon is one of the scary gods, at least in my opinion, and the fact they made him a meme skin, one of the best trolls from Epic. They did a really good job at making Zeus seem like a scary character, especially with this boss fight. It is pretty intimidating, but I'm probably not going to use the skin because I don't really care for Zeus, and it's just Zeus, you know what I mean? Artemis is a little overrated in my opinion, but she's not bad. I do like her skin. I'm probably not going to use her, like I said. Same thing with Zeus. The only skin I really don't like here is Medusa. I think they did a really weird job with her hair, putting it on the side. I don't know, it seems like it stretches out her face a little bit, but we did get Korra as the secret skin, and I'm pretty happy about that. And they did an amazing job with her. Color scheme looks amazing, cell shading looks amazing. Overall, pretty solid battle pass, I cannot lie. This is definitely S tier. I think it's just missing Ares, but it's alright. We'll get him in April. Now, the map is actually very well done. The only problem I have is that the center of the map feels a little bit off. I think that Pleasant, Reckless, Fencing, and maybe even Snooty can be replaced. I feel like the middle of the map really needs to be impacted by the season, but Midas is coming back, so it would make a lot of sense that we get a POI for him. And really, with everything coming out, I wouldn't be surprised if we got more POIs. But right now, the POIs that we've gotten are amazing. We've got 2 new biomes, and it's basically taking up a good amount of the map. It's kind of crazy how much we've gotten. First of all, the Underworld area really reminds me of something from Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild. The Hades boss is super fun to fight. This is one of the best bosses here. This POI's layout is really huge and it's really complicated, so the teleportation effect is really helpful here, and that's what I love about this POI. It uses everything very well together. There's a lot of really good loot, so it's a great landing spot, and it holds the Siphon Medallion, which is kind of crazy. So overall, this POI is definitely in my top 10. Grimgates is also a new POI in the same biome as the Underworld, but I think maybe I like Grimgates more, at least as a landing spot. The loot's really good. There's a lot of loot around, there's a lot of chests around, and I love the lake in the middle so you can dash across and attack people with it. I just think it's really good for these early game fights, and it feels so fun here, like the warfare going down and everything. I really like this POI a lot, and it reminds me a lot of the Shadow Temple from Ocarina of Time, that one part with the boats and the Stelphos. I don't know if you guys are gonna know that, but if you do, you're a W. But most of the reasons I like Grimgates are the same reasons I like the Underworld, so I can't go too deep into it, but it just feels a lot less sweaty. But this is definitely my new favorite part of the map. I really like this entire area. It has a lot of mini POIs surrounding it too, which a good amount of them have an Olympus chest, which is really helpful, gives you really great loot. Overall, 10 out of 10 for this side of the map. I love this area. The Mount Olympus area is also huge. It's kind of crazy how much they did with this. For starters, Mount Olympus, the POI itself, is as big as the Underworld. Maybe it's a little bit smaller, I don't really know. But I'm really happy we got some big POIs because I love how they look. They're just so fun to play on. And Mount Olympus has a more simplistic layout, so you're constantly getting pushed into fights. So these two balance each other out with the complex layouts and the more simpler layouts. And Zeus is a very solid boss. He's definitely the best boss here. Super intimidating. He's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. And just the colors of the POI look beautiful. It mixes together super well. Brawler's Battleground, which is probably my least favorite of the 4, is still a top 4 POI on this map because of how good these POIs really are. I love the layout. I love how it looks kind of like a mini Coliseum. Super cool. Hades is a really good boss, and he gives you an amazing medallion, which I'm gonna get into. Are you kidding? Overall, so far, some 10 out of 10 map upgrades. All I really have a problem with right now is the middle of the map feels a little bit empty, a little bit off, but I feel like this is going to get fixed, and even if it doesn't, this map is still really well done. Now moving on to the loophole, I'm very excited to talk about the loophole. I've already had so much fun just using what we have now, and there's going to be so much more added, so it's kind of crazy how much we're getting. This is really what I wanted from this season, and they're really checking off all my boxes when it comes to a loophole. For starters, I gotta talk about this new shotgun. It is insane. It shoots as fast as attack, and it does like mediocre pump damage, which is pretty good for how fast it shoots. It does like 120 body shot close up. Don't quote me on that because I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it does. It is just so fun to use. It's definitely an upgrade from the auto shotgun, which was super boring, and it's also an upgrade from the pump, which was pretty fun to fight with, but it was just so ass. The downside, which isn't even really a downside, is that it only has 3 bullets. You can upgrade this with a drum, and then it will have 5 bullets, or just put a speed mag on it and it'll reload faster. But the reload time is not even that long where you need either of these. It is definitely a quick kill like a lot of things this season, so you want to watch your back most of the time, but I really enjoy the shotgun so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it reminds me of a lot of the attack, so I mean, you know I gotta like it. But even this new AR is super fun, and I was kind of sad about the striker being removed and the enforcer, but the Nemesis is good by itself, but this AR overtakes it. I really love this AR. The recoil is a little bad, but I mean, who cares about recoil when you can put mods on it? And then the DMR, which I always get hate for liking. I don't care who hates me for liking the DMR. The DMR is a top tier gun, bro, especially this season. This is the greatest DMR we've ever gotten. It's amazing with the thermoscope, and it hits some crazy shots, especially the mythic version, which is wild. Even the new SMG, which I usually don't care about SMGs, this SMG is kind of crazy. It's definitely giving the burst a run for its money, which I loved the burst last season. It's the first time I actually really liked an SMG other than that machine pistol, whatever it was. I really liked the machine pistol, but the burst is just super fun to use, and this new SMG might be better. But to be honest, most of the old guns that stayed don't really mean shit to me anymore. I hate the sniper, I hate the pump, I don't dislike the auto, but it's just not that fun to use. The cluster cleaners really gotta go. They are so annoying. But I still do really like the pistol, burst SMG, and the nemesis. So I gotta give those a break. But the rest of the loot pool that's not new is pretty bad. Now we still have a lot to talk about when it comes to the loot pool. For one, the wings, which are really good. They're really balanced because if you want to hit someone down, just shoot the wings and they do damage to them, not just the wings. So that's kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely more in favor for the person that doesn't have the wings, which is a good thing. But even Zeus's thunderbolts are super fun to use, but they could really use a cooldown. There's no reason why it's 3 seconds long and then someone can just keep blasting with thunderbolts. That is the only annoying part about them. Other than that, I'm fine. Just give it a 20-second cooldown and then we're chilling. I am also really excited for the rest of the mythics that are coming. For one, the Hades chain, and two, maybe Cerberus's claws, because he does this attack where he spins around. I really need that because it looks a lot like the Wolverine mythic, and that's gonna go up in my list. But Hades chain or Ares chain, whoever's it is, looks insane. It's gonna be so fun to use that. But even the Avatar and Star Wars mythics are looking very promising. We're getting Midas back, which is also looking pretty promising because we're definitely gonna get a mythic for him. I don't know, bro. I'm pretty hyped to see what we get. The loot pool is going to be wild by the end of the season. But even the gun mythics that we're getting are pretty solid. I would usually complain about gun mythics, but it's pretty good this season because we get the medallions, which is basically like a power. And we're going to get more mythics throughout the season. You know, the extra ones like Hades whip and stuff like that. So I can't complain too much. And the guns itself are actually pretty good. The medallions are even better though. First of all, Zeus's is so good for mobility. Same goes for Cerberus's, and I think Cerberus's is probably my favorite because I love teleporting around the map. But Ares and Hades medallions are on top, bro. They are so fun to use when fighting. They're really good for combat. First of all, Hades gives you Siphon, and Ares gives you extra damage from long range. So those are both kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie. All of these medallions are really good this season. I do hope Ares gets a sword or a spear for him added, but that's probably not going to happen. But who knows? It could happen. I'm not going to lie. This loot pool is looking really promising. I love this loot pool so far. It's already pretty good, and the fact that we're getting more is just insane to me. I'm so excited. But as I'm recording this, we're only 3 days into the season, and I've already had so much fun. I'm definitely going to put this season in my top 10 by the end of it if it keeps going this good. So we'll definitely have to see about that, but right now it's checking off each one of my boxes for what a good season needs. Not all of them, but a good amount of them, and it's kind of crazy. This might take the #1 spot by the end. It's looking very promising. I'm very excited. So let's just sit back and enjoy this while we can.